I think there's a cool update and news as of right now when it comes to XCN. Let me explain why. Not too long ago, something called Chain made a post on X. Now, you may be wondering, okay, what is Chain? Now, Chain is allegedly the blockchain infrastructure to build scalable applications. However, even besides that, they say in this post that the Onyx DAO smart wallet is supported by Chain, including multi-chain XCN support as the infrastructure provider. Now, they also say in that post that keep a lookout for more upcoming features soon, including a sneak peek of the Goliath testnet wallet. Now, I think there's a lot to kind of look into here because, first of all, when it comes to the wallet, this right here, I get it. Sometimes you like to say, why is this so hype? A lot of other projects out there have wallets. Totally understandable. But then at the same time, I think it's a step in the right direction when it comes to Onyx because it showcases the progression and I think it showcases kind of the way it's evolving into, I think, a pretty good project because initially it didn't really have much to latch onto, in my opinion, but now I think there's more to kind of latch onto fundamentally, despite the price of XCN being lower than, of course, not too long ago when it had a pretty good run. However, even besides that, we also take a look at also the aspect of the Goliath testnet wallet. Now, why do I like this? It's because when it comes to Goliath, we have to take a look at how it's allegedly going to be this layer 1 blockchain for the world of finance. Now, when it comes to the mainnet, it is expected to release in Q1 of next year, which actually in the grand scheme of things isn't even that far away because we're kind of in that sort of nearing the end of 2025 right now. But even besides that point, when I take a look at Goliath, some people like to say, okay, something like the Stellar blockchain exists. And of course, Stellar, we take a look at XLM, very popular. But again, they say that the Stellar blockchain is already lightning fast. It already has good adoption, already has a lot of fans. Why would we need, let's say, something like Goliath, a layer 1 blockchain for the world of finance, if we already have some other better alternatives, for instance? And I'm totally aware of that argument, but I think, again, it's still a step in the right direction. In the space that we're in as of right now, people typically care about the narrative, the story, and kind of the progression of a project. So I still think that even though that in and of itself isn't really anything revolutionary, I still like it for the context of that project, if that makes sense. It's just like, sure, others have done that, but then for what the project is and how far it's come, it's actually pretty amazing. So when I take a look at something like Goliath, when I take a look at something like the wallet, I don't think there are such bad things for me to look forward to. When I take a look at the idea of 25 cents, I still have that as my mindset when it comes to XCN because reaching that price would be around an 18x from here, and I get it. XCN has had a pretty big pullback, but if I'm bullish on XCN and I see that the price is kind of relatively speaking somewhat low a little bit, why would I complain about that? It's like, for instance, let's say I like this G-Shock, which I do like, by the way, and I actually got this from Japan, but even besides that point, let's say I liked it at a certain price and then there was a discount and then suddenly I don't like it. It wouldn't really make much sense if I actually like the product, which I do. So in this case, if I like XCN and then the price relatively speaking is having somewhat of a dip, so to speak, why would I be complaining about that? If anything, I would actually love to dollar cost average into it. Now, I'm not telling you to do anything and nothing I say is financial advice, but this is just my outlook. In real life, sometimes people like discounts, but then somehow in this space, people don't really like it if something is going down. Totally aware of how it may be different, but then I just kind of take that same principle and I apply it here. If I like discounts in real life, my mindset is that I should like discounts as well when it comes to this space. And 25 cents market cap considering current circulating supply would be around $8.7 billion. I mean, come on. This isn't even 5% of XRP's market cap not too long ago, which it reached around 200 billion, right? So, I mean, it's not something too outlandish in my perspective. And around an 18x, I'm totally aware that it's not going to be the best hypothetical upside out there of all time. And how can it? It's around an 18x maybe to go to the price of 25 cents. Like, no way that's going to be the best in my opinion. But then at the same time, I don't mind because I am not looking for a microcap, but I'm not looking for something that has a way too massive market cap either. So this kind of fits what I'm looking for. It fits my criteria, I would say. I like the market cap because it's pretty decent. So I think it showcases a good amount of holders. I think it showcases also kind of the established nature of the project. I like XCN's exchange listings. So that's typically what I look for, these type of projects that have a pretty good following. Not necessarily microcap, but not too massive either in that kind of mid-range. And I think XCN kind of fits that for me. And also, I've been noticing a trend where people usually are gravitating towards these projects that are alternatives beyond Ripple and Stellar. or should I say other than XRP and XLM, because they have very massive market caps. Not every single person, I think, necessarily that wants to believe in the payments market, the global trade and finance market, necessarily just wants to latch on to, something like XRP and XLM, which again, the market cap is very massive. It's not everyone's cup of tea, so to speak, maybe. And I think there are alternatives, like for instance, XCN, ZBCN, Swiftcoin, XPR, and XDC. And I think XCN, again, is one of the 5 there. So I'm still looking forward to what this project could do when it comes to Onyx, and I'm staying patient because, quite frankly, that is the only thing within my control. I cannot demand when the prices do this or do that. The only thing that is within my control is myself. So I'm going to be dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting. And instead of panicking over when things are going to pump and whatnot, I'd rather just prepare and just forget about it. That's it. Quite essentially not forgetting about it completely in that sense, or in a literal sense, I would say, but in just a figurative way. Like, for instance, of course, I'm not forgetting about XCN, but then what I'm doing is just dollar cost averaging, holding, and just waiting, instead of checking my portfolio every 5 minutes, which I think does nothing, and instead of trying to figure out the perfect time. Again, I will not know the perfect time. All I can do is prepare for a moment in which there is the time, if that makes sense. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prepare and just stay patient, and that's about it. But in the meantime, I do like what I'm seeing when it comes to Onyx. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.